Ladies and gentlemen, I have been very busy. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We've got a lot done since we last saw each other. I actually ended up clearing out the entire mountain, which you're about to see in a second, as well as adding a couple of things, or throwing a couple things in, as you can probably hear. So here we go. This is what has been happening since we last met up. Threw together a couple farms, got a couple of villagers for stuff. The chicken farm hasn't been working too great, but it's kicking out. Got a little bit of a storage system going on. Cows and sheep for a bunch of wool and leather that I'll need for bookshelves, which will make my enchanting station. Got a couple furnaces set up and a mine shaft that goes down to diamond level. So what's going to happen now is we're probably going to spend a lot of time this episode resource grinding. And while I was doing all this, I actually went and did a little bit of mining myself and got a couple of diamonds. We also went and saw a bunch of shipwrecks, which is where we got most of our emeralds from. And yeah, I think today we are going to start work on a couple of farms. Not quite sure which yet, but on the table first is we have to go down and get obsidian and go get some diamonds, or not some diamonds. We need to get a diamond pickaxe and take some obsidian and build up a nether portal so we can get some nether quartz and some obsidian, which is necessary for some of the farms that I feel like we're going to be doing today. So just give me a sec and I will meet you down at the bottom of the mine when I find some obsidian. Hello everyone and welcome to the mine. It goes all the way down. We're here at Y level 11, which is one of the best spots to find diamonds at. You can see we've done a little bit of mining. And I've got myself my diamond pickaxe, and we've got some obsidian right here. And we are going to mine it up and see if we can get enough to build ourselves a portal. Alright, there we go. We've got 16 obsidian. Some of that's for an enchanting table. The rest is for a nether portal. And so we're just going to head back on up here, and we will go up and make ourselves a portal. Go and get some flint and steel and light her up. Alright, we're just going to throw up the portal right over here. You see it's in the corner of the base. There's a nice little spot for it here behind the furnaces. And we're going to first craft up our flint and steel, and afterwards we're going to put up this portal right here, and we're going to light it and see where we end up in the nether. Just put a little bit of obsidian here. I built that wrong. This is wonderful. I'll be right back. Alrighty, this should be built correctly now. Let's light it up and go inside. And we'll block it off a little bit so that the gas don't blow it up, and we'll go get some materials from the nether. Doesn't look like a horrible spot to spawn. Doesn't look like we'll have too many problems with gas. Got gravel. Nice bit of magma blocks, which will be handy for water elevators and item storage eventually. But I do hear a ghast around here somewhere. I do believe we can go around and start collecting some materials now. And once we get this all done, I'll come back to you, and we will start with the next phase, which will be building the farms, and we'll see where we get once we get there. Alright, so we're back from the nether. There wasn't too much excitingness going on, just mined a bunch of blocks. I made sure I grabbed at least a full stack of everything I had. I got a little overboard on the glowstone, a little over a stack, but that's okay. We can use it for other stuff. The real important thing that I went down there to grab was this right here in the nether quartz. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to use it to make some observers. And then with those observers, we can make a nice sugarcane farm that we can use to make more, or just automatically farm sugarcane without us having to knock it down every time like we do at the moment. And that'll make it easier for us so that we could just keep working on it. It'll be kind of like this chicken farm, which is cranking out a little bit of eggs, and we'd probably make the cooked chicken farm next, but since we've got a decent supply of wheat and bread, I don't think we're going to be going on to be making the cooked chicken farm quite yet. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to make an AFK fish farm. And I know those are going out in 1.16, but we might as well make one now since we're in 1.15 and just make sure we have enough for it, enough materials from it to last us for quite a while once 1.16 comes through. So what we're going to need for this farm is a iron pressure plate, and we're going to need some cobblestone just to build it out of. We'll actually need more iron because we're going to need hoppers. And hoppers require chests. Get a little bit of that stuff. And we'll need our redstone. There isn't really much to this. I like this one because it doesn't require us to go kill spiders, because spiders drop string, and some AFK fish farms need tripwire hooks. I will have to get string string to make the fishing poles, but in one of the sunken shipwrecks that I found, I did get a Luck of the Sea 2 fishing rod, so that should be nice. And I think, yeah, we're going to go ahead and build it right here. So we're going to run over here and just quickly pick up this crafting table to make it faster for us. And we'll get started on the build. Doesn't take much to do. Of course, you need your pressure plate. And you'll need some sticks to craft a fence, which I can never remember how to craft. And there we go, you get your fence. We're going to need a note block, which is that right there. Going to need to go get some water, so we'll have to get a bucket. Right there, right here. And there. We do have a infinite water source right there that works wonderfully. Now that we've got our water, we're going to craft up a double chest here pretty quick. And we'll actually need one more so that we can have our hopper. Get that hopper crafted up. And now all you have to do is dig out space for your hopper and your chest. Chest doesn't really matter where you place it as long as you have the hopper feeding into it. And then you're going to need to mine out this spot right here. And take our note block. Ooh, we also need a iron trap door. There we go. Almost forgot that part. That's a pretty important part right there. So now we take our fence, put it on top of the hopper, and we waterlog it, and that'll make the water flow backwards. We put our note block right there. Take our iron trap door and place it so that it's on the block above, next to where the music block will be. You can get rid of that if you want to. It's not really necessary, but you can. And you get your iron trap or iron pressure plate, and you get out of there and you put it right there. And there you go. You've got yourself a nice little AFK fish farm. So if I come over here and nab me my fishing rod, we'll see if we made this correctly. So you just cast in, and it'll make that noise, and you'll be fishing. Your hook will stay in the water, and the pressure plate will make it so that your trap door stays open. And the music block is making it so that you're still casting, but the game doesn't think you're interacting with another block. And once you catch a fish, the trap door will go down, or if you catch something, just like that. And the hopper should pick it up, and there you go. Nice, simple AFK fish farm to use until the end of 1.15 and 1.16 comes around. And yeah, and I think now that we've got the AFK fish farm done, I am going to use that between episodes, not at the moment, And we're going to come over here and start work on our next project, which will be a sugarcane farm, which also isn't that hard to make, and we'll get back to you once we have the necessary resources. So here's everything you really need to just make yourself a sugarcane farm. Some of these blocks aren't necessary, but they're very nice visually. This is how I make my sugarcane farms. They're not 100% loss-free, but they get the job done and they do it decently fast. You get some every time. And so what you have to do is you set aside the amount of blocks you want. For me, I'm doing 8 blocks long. And I might have to tear down a little bit of my farm to make this work. But I will need to set this up so that I can just go and make some. So here's what's going to happen. You put down your dirt or sand. Doesn't matter which. There is no advantage to having it. I put away my axe. I'll be right back. Get the right axe. Alrighty. And once you got that set up, dang it, I will be moving this back up a little bit, and because of our space restraints, if we move any of the stone right here, we'll begin to see light because that's literally right outside. So what's going to need to happen is you need a 3 wide space plus a little bit or 3 high space for your sugarcane to grow, plus a little bit extra room for the redstone. So I don't know if I'll have the space right here to do it efficiently, but it'll get the job done. And so then you'll come over here. I'm going to dig mine into the ground a little bit because that's easiest for me. And it'll make it a little less or not as tall as it would be if it wasn't. There's 7, 8. So we're going to make ours 8. I believe this design makes it so that you can have it as long as you want, but I don't make them too big because sugarcane isn't really that important once you get past making all the books for the enchanting table. And then you take your pickaxe, you mine out your space for the water stream, which will also make it so that you can 1, get the sugarcane over to your hopper, and 2, it'll make it so that you don't have to put water on the back. You will have the sound of flowing water, but it's not that big of a deal. If you really don't want it, then you don't have to do it. But this is just how I do it. It saves resources, it saves a little bit of time, and it's just generally easier for me. So what you do is you put your hopper in. Now any sugarcane that comes in is going to run through that hopper. Mine out your space for the chests. And there you go. Take a little bit of glass, put it right there so that none of the sugarcane ends up getting out, but you can still open the chest. And this is where all the redstone comes in. So you're going to want to put a row of blocks right here so that you end up, so that you don't have to replant every time the farm gets triggered. We're just going to put the sugarcane in right now. And then you're going to want to take your pistons and your observers and put your pistons on the second block of the sugarcane. That's what's going to fire some, not all, of your sugarcane into the water stream. And it's going to be stopped by some glass that we put up later. And once you get that done, you build yourself up a little bit of a platform back here so that you can run your redstone from your observers to your pistons. Observers are just going to go right on top, so once the sugarcane reaches the 3rd stage, it ends up knocking it down so that it's back to the 1st stage. And that's pretty much all you're going to see from the front. In the back, you're just going to build up this platform right here. And all that you need now is to, I believe all you need now is to run a bit of redstone along the back. And now when any one of the sugarcane grows up to be 3 high, we'll make an example here. It knocks down all of it and throws it in the chest. It's not going to be great, but it'll work for what we need it for. And you just cover up the sides to just make sure that you get as much sugarcane as possible. And there you have it. You got yourself a nice little sugarcane farm. It's not very efficient, but it's very cheap for the beginning stages of Minecraft. In the future, if you want to make a farm like this 100% effective, you can change these panes into blocks. And you can go underneath and just run a hopper minecart underneath it into a chest. And once the sugarcane breaks, the hopper minecart will pick it up. And it'll be all sucked up and put into the chest. 100% loss-free from my knowledge it is. As long as you have something powering the minecart underneath and it keeps sucking up and it doesn't run out of space, you should be able to get as much as you can. And so with that, we've got a decent amount of farms in here. I think we'll take a step away from farms, and we will end up working on getting an enchanting station, which we're just going to throw here for now. Eventually, we're going to go this way into the mountain on the other side of this wall, and we're going to make it into a huge base. And like we said in the first episode, there's going to be a village within the inside of that mountain, and that's the reason why we've got these 2 villagers here. The first building we're going to build in that village after our own house is going to be the so-called hospital, where we're going to set up a villager breeder that's just going to run constantly, and it's just going to keep kicking out villagers, as many as possible, and we're just going to make it so that it's a nice free roam village. We may add a couple dark edges on the sides and just allow like a couple zombies or something to spawn, and that'll keep the population in check. I don't think that'll be a huge problem, though, and once we get through that, I think after we get most of the village set up, we're going to fight the Ender Dragon and call it a series. But I don't see that coming for a long time, because hollowing out that mountain and building up the village is going to take a very long time. So for now, we're just going to do a quick bit of working on these animals right here, getting them built up to a nice population, and building ourselves a full enchanting station. So the breeding isn't going as fast as I'd like it to. I currently only have 3 bookshelves and 1 extra book. So we're going to end the episode off here by making ourselves the enchanting table and putting it in the new space we created while we were waiting. And as I said at the beginning, we thought about terraforming that space. Oh, it's nighttime. Gotta sleep. But terraforming that space between the mountain we're currently living in and the huge mountain that's right next to us. And in the time that while I was waiting for the animals to breed and get their cooldown, I actually did a little bit of terraforming. It's not the greatest, but I terraformed the entire area here so that these 2 mountains are connected, and I've actually went ahead and built a tunnel through here, as you could see through the time lapse that was previously shown. And there's even a little bit of space in there where we're going to put the enchanting table. But first, if you have any suggestions about this little tunnel that I built and the terraforming on top of it, please feel free to comment about it and let me know what you think and see if you have any suggestions for me. And yeah, we're gonna go put our enchanting table and 3 bookshelves into the nice little space we have back here behind the AFK fish farm. The tunnel isn't really much, it's just a little bit of glowstone on top with some stone bricks. And we're just gonna go ahead and place the enchanting table right there. And start our books there. And there we go. This is the start of our enchanting station. We just need 12 more bookshelves, which I will get in between episodes. Once again, this is Frenchy Toast. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.